Thank you very much, Claire. Thank you, Hisako, and thank you to the student staff as well. Also, thank you for allowing me to use this most ridiculous photo of mine. And it's just really funny to see it. Yeah, everyone, welcome. And today I'll be giving a short presentation to give you some ideas on things you can do that would hopefully motivate you and to help you motivate your friends and other people in the self-access learning centers in how they can, well, enjoy the English journey more. Like Claire said, and thank you for the amazing introduction. I've never been introduced so formally like that. Yeah, like she said, I was someone who learned English, and now I'm still someone who is learning Japanese and in a way learning English too. I really understand how much of a challenge it is. So today, I hope what I will say, what I will present about will really help you as well. Okay, also, as I know that this is going to be recorded, which is great because my presentation is a bit long, which means I will be going quite fast. If you need to review, you can always go back to the video in the future. But anyway, welcome to, oh, someone is talking. Yeah, Claire? Okay, all right. In that case, everyone, welcome to the JASAL Second Student Online Forum. I'm very honored to be invited to be a guest speaker here. Today, the topic is 10 self-access activities to learn English without studying. My name is Jackson Kunyat Lee. I'm a teacher at Toyo University in Tokyo, and you can see my email address there as well. To talk about this topic, right, how to learn without studying, first, we all need to think about why some students get demotivated when they're learning English. And the answer, I think, is a very simple answer. It is that they are tired, they're exhausted. And this is a very common thing in university level and even high school level English speakers, English learners. When you are in school, you're often learning about academic English or business English or difficult grammar or new words, more new words, a lot of new words. So when you're always doing that, based on what you study, of course, you get tired. But also, the other part is how you study, right? If you think about a typical Japanese English education system is new words, vocabulary quiz, grammar, test, more words, test, just for fun. And then they would do a speech, and then you would read some long passages, and then at the end, test. So based on what you study and how you study, of course, some students, maybe even many students, will get demotivated in studying English. That's just how the system is here in Japan. And honestly, it is a little bit unfortunate. Now, of course, all those things you do, they are important, right? Reading difficult books, learning vocabulary, keeping a vocabulary notebook, those are really important. Tests are important. Doing research, presentations, they are important, but they're tiring. And that is what we have to deal with, right? What students have to deal with. And again, that is just the reality. So hopefully today, the ideas I will share with you can be ideas that you can enjoy. You can learn English, but it won't tire you out. I also want to talk about why I'm doing this presentation. And it is just because for me as a teacher, and I think for many teachers here too, we get really sad when we see students get exhausted. And then they start to go, oh, right? And then they start to give up and they avoid English. And when we see their passion go away, it makes us really sad. So hopefully with this presentation, we can focus on learning English and using English. And many teachers will also give you a lot of ideas on how you can use English every day and how to learn English in fun ways, such as TED Talks and graded readers, right, which is Tadokuyamu Kyozai, right? And those are all very good ideas. But today, I'm going to take them a step further. I'm going to think outside the box. And what I will introduce to you are things that most teachers would never talk about in class. So I think you will be in for quite something different. There are 10 self-access activities I'll talk about. Well, actually, when I was planning this presentation, I realized I have so many ideas that this is going to be 10 categories of self-access activities with 3 ideas each, which means you're going to get 30 ideas. Okay, take notes if you want to, take screenshots if you want to, or of course, this will be recorded so you can find it on the video as well. But let me get started. Number 1, let's talk about reading materials. Okay, when teachers introduce to you, the reading materials, of course, you have your novels to read, you have your textbooks to read. And then when you get tired, some teachers would tell you, oh, read graded readers, right? These Tatokuyon Mukyozai, they are thin books, extremely useful, very simple to read, and they're great. I want to take it a step further, right? I want to introduce and recommend students to read comics, right? Comics are very fun. They are colorful, they are attractive, and they have a lot of dialogues as well. And the good thing about comics is that when you're reading them, you are not thinking about, oh, I'm studying English, I'm studying English. You are just enjoying the jokes and enjoying the stories. It's not easy, surprisingly. Comics are not easy because to understand the humor of a foreign language, you really need to understand the words, how the nuanced meanings of different words. So from comics, you can actually learn a lot of vocabulary. I would also recommend manga, right? If you enjoy manga, please go to your local libraries and you can probably find a lot of English mangas in the collection. Maybe you have never searched for it before. Manga is great because, just like comics, they are enjoyable. And for most Japanese students, they are also very comfortable for students to read. Okay, here is my crazy idea of category number 1, which is trading cards. Why not? Okay, I see some students laughing already. Yeah, why not? Usually they would go, oh, Jackson, really? Is this reading? Yeah. Have you seen how many words there's for you to read? And if you're really interested, you are reading a lot of English, right? Just like me. I don't like studying Japanese, but there's so much Japanese for me to read. And because this is fun, I feel motivated and I continue and I learn all those words that, they're not useful in everyday life, but it is, it does get me more comfortable with reading. Comics, manga, and even cards, right? All these would help students feel more and more comfortable with reading. And when you're done with this, then you will feel more comfortable with graded readers, which will help you feel more comfortable with your textbooks and things like that. It's a very good way to train your relationship with reading. Okay, number 2 is videos. Movies and dramas, those are great. Reality TV shows, those are great as well. Many students do that. Many students would actually watch them in self-access learning centers together too. But this is what I want to recommend. The first time you watch it, just enjoy it. Don't worry about the language. Don't worry about taking notes. The first time you watch it, just enjoy it. If you need Japanese subtitles, that's okay. If you need Japanese voices, that's okay. And only the second time when you feel like okay, I like this, let me try it again. The second time, you keep everything, in English subtitles, or maybe even no subtitles and only English voices. The point is, if it is your second time, you can focus on the language and not the story. If the first time you watch something and you are already feeling challenged and you're feeling, oh, I don't understand that part. What did they say? What did they say? You will start to hate what you're doing. You will hate English, right? You will start to think, oh, I love Toy Story 5, but I missed many of the things they said. So the first time you watch it, just enjoy it. One more thing I want to recommend is actually anime, right? Just like what I said earlier. If this is something you feel comfortable with, then it can be a very good learning material for you. Anime is great because when they talk, right, you will be listening to the Japanese verses, the Japanese lines, and what you see translated can be something for you to learn, right? How do they translate this line? Oh, when the person says itadakimasu, how do they translate it? It makes you think about the relationship between Japanese and English. So anime is great. One Punch Man is great. Some people say I look like the main character. So I think that's great too. So this is another thing I would recommend. YouTube is is the third thing I want to recommend. Many teachers would talk about YouTube, but often they would recommend students to watch TED Talks. Now, TED Talks are very good, but there's one problem, which is that they are exhausting. Even for me, right, who is a fluent English speaker, I still find TED Talks very exhausting. I don't go, oh, I'm done with work today. Okay, let me order a pizza and I'm going to watch TED Talk. No, I don't do that because it's really tiring. So watch what you enjoy. On YouTube, there are so many things you can enjoy. If you like watching people play video games, then you can watch Let's Plays. In Japanese, they're called Jikyo Play. So that's one of the things you can enjoy. You can watch movie reviews if you're really into movies. If you're interested in movies, you can find many videos talking about histories of movies, the endings of movies, and just many kinds of discussions. Or you can even watch random fun videos like this random YouTuber who was making the poppin' cooking takoyaki set. And it's just funny. And many students would go, but Jackson, can I learn from this? This is not TED Talk. Yeah, it's not TED Talk, but it is authentic and realistic English. And that, for me, is the very positive part. When you are studying from textbooks, right, you're listening to written English. They're staged, they are planned, they're written, but they're not authentic. And YouTube is a perfect source for you to get realistic English. Now, one warning, some videos, they might use some bad words that we teachers don't want to hear you use. So please be careful about that. All right, be careful about what you learn. Video games. Probably at this point, many people are thinking, oh, I understand now. Jackson is an otaku. Sure, I don't mind. But video games are very motivating. You know, role-playing games, adventure games, even card games. If you switch the language setting to English, and on the Nintendo Switch, that's very easy to do. Just change the language to English and all your games will be in English, right? This is an amazing amount of English input you will get. The amount of listening and the amount of reading you would do is amazing. The good thing about video games is that they are designed by experts to be motivating. So even if you are tired by English, even if you feel exhausted, you will still continue because the game is fun. Last night, I was playing this game called Ryuga Gotoku Isshin, and they use a lot of difficult Japanese with a dialect, old Japanese too. And for me, that was really challenging. And when I finished, I looked at the clock and I was like, wow, I played for 2 hours. Even though it was really difficult Japanese for me, the game itself was motivating. So I, for 2 hours nonstop, got a lot of Japanese input. And you can do the same with English. Music is another good way. There are two things I want to introduce. One is learning from lyrics. Specifically, there's this website called lyricstraining.com. It is great because it's kind of like a video game. Back to games. It's kind of like a game where you can listen to parts of the song and you need to type in the missing word. So this is a good way to train your ear using music. And the best part is you choose the music, right? However, my favorite way to use music to help students learn is with karaoke. If you want to improve your pronunciation, please go to karaoke by yourself. Go there with a list of English songs you want to practice. You don't need to worry about any of your friends. You don't need to think, oh yeah, hazukashina, because you go by yourself. You can just practice and focus on the sounds of English. Focus on how words are connected. And you don't even need to care about the meaning of the song. Focus on the sound, the voice that you're making. And I promise you, karaoke can really improve your pronunciation. Now, this is not the best time to go to karaoke right now because of, Corona. So I would also recommend singing in the shower. Just go to YouTube, bring your phone, your iPad, put it in a bag like this, and just go sing songs in the shower. And that is it's a place where you can really feel free and just start singing in English. A very good way to improve your pronunciation. Number 6, party games. For people who are in self-access learning centers, I think this is something that you do a lot. And for the organizers, I'm sure you think a lot about what games you can play with people who come to your center, right? Of course, conversational games are great because it requires people to talk and communicate. Two truths, one lie is one of my favorites. You can also play party games with English. This game called Catchphrase is a very fun game, and it makes you think about English. Catchphrase is very simple, right? You will get a random word, and without using this word, you need to give hints for your team to guess the word. So you are thinking about the keywords that you get, but in different ways. So it's a really fun game, and you can find a free version on this website called thegamegal.com. But also, of course, board games. Many people play board games in self-access learning centers. That's great. During this online situation, what you can do is go to this website called boardgamearena.com. It is free to sign up. If you sign up with a free membership, you can play many games for free. If you get a paid version, which I think is like 2,000 yen for a whole year, and if one person gets the paid version, everyone else playing with that person, you will have access to all games, which is great. Make sure that your language setting is in English so that you are reading the English instructions. You are communicating with your friends, trying to figure out, so what happens next? What do we do next? Right? And it's this process of playing a game that you can really practice communicating and also learning different kinds of language that you don't usually learn in classrooms. All right. Oh my God, back to video games. I promise this is the last time I'm going to talk about video games today. But multiplayer video games are great too, right? Because you can play cooperative games that you team up with your friends and play together. You can play party games, right? Which you would just really have a fun time. My favorite, however, is to play games that you are against each other. This game I really want to recommend right now. And I think some people have seen this. It's called Among Us. It is free on phones and iPads. It's 500 yen on computers and Nintendo Switch and PlayStations. So just get it for free. It is basically the werewolf game, or in Japanese, the Jinro game. With your group of 6 to 10 people, there would be 1 or 2 traitors. And with your team, you need to figure out who is the traitor within our group right now. The language you use, right? The language you use to lie to your teammates, the language you use to question each other. These are languages that you don't really learn from classrooms. And if you want to do well in this game, you need to listen. You need to listen to what words your friends use so that you can learn from each other. And then the next time, you need to try to use them yourself too. So it is like I said earlier, video games are extremely encouraging and motivating, and you can do it together with other people too. Okay, I'm done with video games. The last 3 categories, communities. Of course, if you're here, if you're part of any self-access learning centers, you're a part of a community already. But if you want to go beyond, and if you want to reach kind of the world, 2 more suggestions I have for you is, number 1, Facebook groups. You can find Facebook groups of all kinds of topics. Facebook groups about movies, about cooking, about traveling, about books, about manga, about anything you want. And you can also even go to anonymous boards such as Reddit. And you can find many kinds of conversations that you can read, but you can also join and comment. Right? Facebook groups and anonymous boards like Reddit, you can be part of the conversation. But be careful, right? Because it is the internet. Privacy is something that you want to be careful about. And also, you don't know what kind of people are on there. Right now, I'm talking to university students. I treat you all as adults. So please make your own judgment, use your common sense, and be careful when you do that, right? School communities are very safe. And if you want to expand, that's great. Just be careful at the same time, okay? All right, number 9, social media. And social media is a very good way to get you to get more input in English as well. Reading is great. Now, this is one account I follow. I don't usually read Japanese because I'm a very bad Japanese learner. But if I follow accounts talking about things I enjoy, then I would be motivated to read. So what words am I learning? Of course, I'm learning words like, kotteri, gyokai tonkotsu, right? Those are the words I learned, but still I am reading a lot of Japanese, and you can do the same with English. Then the next step I really want you to do is to comment in English, because right after reading, right after the input of the new words that you're learning, immediately you get a reason for output. Just share how you feel, right? If they reply, that's great. If they don't reply, that's okay, because this is just an opportunity for you to practice. And when you feel comfortable enough using social media, please also post. You can post, and I recommend my students to do this. When they post on Twitter, on Instagram, or whatever, post in Japanese and English. I'm not asking them to translate, but I'm just asking them to share their feelings or share their opinions in 2 languages. Sometimes, usually this is the time when students would tell me, but Jackson, my friends would make fun of me. I don't want to make mistakes, right? My friends might think that I'm showing off my English skills. This is what I want to say. If they're making fun of you, they're not your real friends, okay? Forget about them. If they support you, they are your friends. If they are making fun of you for practicing and using English, they are not the friends you want in your life, okay? All right. And this is the last thing. And this is probably the most difficult thing I will introduce today, which is content creation. Like I said, social media posts on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I don't understand TikTok. It's for young people. I'm too old for that. But when you're making videos or whatever, if you're posting something or whatever, try, like I said, use 2 languages. And if you want to take it to the next level, you can write more by blogging, okay? You can get other people in the self-access learning centers and set up a blog together. Not Ameblog. Ameblog is garbage, but there are a lot of good and free blogging services that you can make together, and you can just blog about what you choose to blog about. Of course, you can blog about your self-access learning center, or you can just blog about really your hobbies. And if you tell me, Jackson, this is too easy, I want something more difficult, sure, go make YouTube videos, okay? It is not easy, but it is a good way for you to practice your speaking. And blogging is a good way to practice your writing. And the big difference here, and why I really recommend this, is that when you are creating something on your own, it is meaningful to you. I'm sure if you're writing a blog, if you're making a video, you care about it a lot. You will care about this more than you care about the project that you will hand in to your teacher the next day. Because the projects and the homework that you hand in, they are for the teachers. But these things that you create are for yourself. I'm sure if you're creating something, you're going to go through the dictionary. You're going to go on the internet. You're going to find the words that you need. You're going to think very deeply about how to make your speeches easier for people to understand. And you're going to try to make it the best product you have ever created, even better than the homework you will hand in to your teachers. I know that. So content creations, I think, is a very good way for you to motivate you to learn. So let's just take a very quick look at a summary. These are the 10 things that I've mentioned. I'll give you 10 seconds to take a look. right? The blue ones are the things that you can do by yourself. The red ones are things you would do with your friends. And the purple ones are the things you do with the world. I'm really hoping that one thing I've demonstrated today is that there are so many ways for you to learn and use English, and it's not stressful. When you do any of these things, you don't feel like you're studying, but you are learning and practicing English. And of course, people then question me, do they work? Yeah, they work. I know a lot of students who are not in English majors or language majors, but they're fluent in English because they take part in these things on a daily basis. I have friends who are fluent in Japanese. They took introductory Japanese for 2 years and then they stopped because they go, oh, I don't really like studying. But they continued watching anime, TV shows, radio programs, and they became fluent in Japanese much better than me, even though I've been living in Japan for a long time. So yes, they work. Now, the whole thing is really a balance, right? In Japan, many students in school, university students, they focus on academic English, business English, presentations and things like that. But they forget about using English for simple communication purposes. These are the students who they only focus on studying. So for their whole life, they will only be English students, but they don't become English users. And for me, I teach academic English at my university, and I see that my students would burn out, right? They get exhausted and they stop coming to class, they stop producing good homework, right? And for me, it really is too bad. And why are they demotivated? Oh, it's because they're exhausted. They're tired. They're tired from my class. Honestly, though, there's nothing much I can do because my class is study for IELTS, study for TOEFL. There's nothing much I can do. What I hope, however, is that the self-access learning centers can help the teachers balance the English in the students' lives. We focus on the stressful part, but the self-access learning centers can help students enjoy and build a good relationship with English. What can you do? Of course, you can help do them together. All those things I've mentioned are things that you can do as a community, right? And for those who are leading or those who are staff of CELCs, please be creative and think outside the box. If there's something that you think, well, we don't do this, but I think it might be fun. I think it might be useful. I think it might be enjoyable. Then please give it a try, right? Making a YouTube channel, translating song lyrics together, whatever you have. Just be creative and enjoy what you bring to your friends and peers in the center. And hopefully everything I talk about today will help all of us achieve this ultimate goal I have. And the ultimate goal is to make English a part of the students' lives. English is not just something you study. English is a part of you. If you're only studying English, you will be demotivated. But if you can balance what you do with English, English will be a part of your life. It will be a part of who you are. English will be a part of you. That was 10 self-access activities to learn English without studying. My name is Jackson. Thank you very much. And there's my email address if you want to ask me any questions regarding anything I've talked about. All right, and that's it. Thank you very much for listening.